not in a big hurry to deal with a wild lion. I don't have to. And so we start running. Now there's something important for you to know about running from the lions. I don't have to run faster than the lions. I just have to run faster than you. It may not be nice, but it doesn't make it any less so. The back of the line is not a wonderful place to be. And so we're running, and I'm going to assume that I'm a little bit faster than a few of you. And so you feel the lion's hot breath on your back, and it's about to pounce. And you get a brilliant idea. You stop, you turn around. Mr. Lion, you can't eat me. I'm too old. Mr. Lion, you can't eat me. I'm too fat. Mr. Lion, nobody told me lions were going to be here. You can't eat me. Mr. Lion, I forgot my good running shoes today, and I didn't get my snack or my nap. You can't eat me. Mr. Lion, it's not fair. You can't eat me. Does that work? No, of course not. Because the lions don't care about your goofy excuses. Either you get out of there or you don't. Either you run fast enough or you're lion food. There aren't any shades of gray. When things go right, it's your fault. And that's good news. We all like that part. You go to work, you get paid. You take care of your body, you get to enjoy a certain amount of health, and you feel good. You nurture your relationships, and you have people there to support you, and you enjoy those quality relationships. We all like that part. When things go right, your fault. Good news. When things go wrong, it's your fault. And that's good news. Let's say that again. When things go wrong, it's your fault. And that's good news. Consider this for a minute. If things go wrong and it's not your fault, then there's nothing you can do about it, and it's going to happen over and over and over again. But if something goes wrong and it's your fault, that means you can take measures to correct it. And you can take steps to prevent it from happening again in the future. If things go right and it's not your fault, then you just got lucky. You don't really deserve the credit, and there's nothing you can do to make it happen again. Am I saying that you can control every variable in every possible situation? No. Am I saying that you can control every outcome in every situation? No. What I am saying is that when you make an excuse or tolerate someone else's excuse, you are allowing a small, subtle, destructive lie of omission. In every situation, part of it is you, and part of it isn't you. When you make an excuse, you're focusing on the part that isn't you, that you can't do anything about. So you don't have to do anything, and you get to keep complaining. When you take responsibility, you're focusing on the part that is you, that you can do something about, and then you do something. You might try it once or twice. At the very least, I think you'll feel better. There are two very devious traps that excuses take the form of. One of them is when you know something is good for you, but you don't want to do it. Eat your vegetables, go to the dentist, come to ToastMasters. Right? Investing in your education, maybe having a confrontation with something where you know you need to, but boy, it's going to be uncomfortable. Things that you know are good for you, but you don't want to. So you don't. Good habits are hard to get, but they're easy to live with. The other trap is when you know something's bad for you, but you want to do it anyway. Because the chocolate cake tastes so good. Just one more drink. Oh, I can do it later. Bad habits are easy to get, but they're hard to live with. People who are really, really good at making excuses are rarely very good at anything else. Am I suggesting that you live like a monk with absolutely no physical pleasure and absolute discipline? No, not at all. What I'm suggesting is that you take responsibility for your choices and your habits and not allow yourself or others to blame other people or circumstances for your outcomes. It's your life and it's your power. Why give it away? Your life isn't a collection of rights and wrongs and judgments and excuses. It's a collection of choices and consequences. that you alone will enjoy or suffer. I'm asking you to take responsibility for you. You're not overweight because of a fast food chain, or because your parents ate too much, or because you have a slow metabolism. You're overweight because you eat too much, and you move too little. And when you eat less and move more, you will be smaller. I've never even heard a story about a 500-pound vegetarian who runs 5 miles a day. Ever. You're not broke because the economy is bad. You're broke because you haven't created enough value for other people in the marketplace. And when you find a way to create more value for other people, you'll have more money. Or maybe you spend too much. Or maybe you like being broke. Any of those is okay. But please understand, it is your decision. Our children are not little brats because of a bunch of letters that doctor can string together and stick behind their name and then give them medicine for. Those letters may make things a little more difficult. But I think ultimately we all know where we can do better for our children. Look into your own life for just a moment. I'd be willing to bet that the areas where you are successful, you have very few, if any, excuses. And I would also wager that the areas where you struggle, you allow excuses. What if the difference, the space between you and the life you really deserve is the amount of your own excuses that you tolerate? What would happen in your personal relationships if you no longer tolerated those excuses? What would happen in your finances if you no longer tolerated those excuses? What would happen in your physical body if you no longer tolerated those excuses? Never ask that the task be made easier. Always ask that you can get better. And please remember, if things go right, it's your fault. And if things go wrong, it's your fault. And either way, that's good news, because the lions are coming. Mr. ToastMaster.